Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with the first Southwest Virginia Fishing Report of 2021 with Matt Reilly. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing good, Marvin. How are you?
As always, just trying to stay out of trouble. Was Santa Claus good to you this year?
Oh, he was. Got a little bit too much chocolate and a little bit too much rain, but it's all good. We're still rolling around here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it seems that the story in Virginia is a ton of rain. I guess right around Christmas, and then about a week after Christmas has pretty much blown things out, at least on the river fishing.
Yeah, it's been it's kind of been just consistently a little higher than I like it to be up on the big river, and that's we did get a fair amount of rain right before Christmas, but we also got a couple inches of snow on Christmas Eve, and then it was pretty frigid a couple of days after Christmas, down in the teens and 20s, and then it warmed up, 50s and touching 60, and melted some of that snow into the river, and then it's back down into the, relatively seasonable, but, kind of bounce around in the 20s and 30s. So it's been cold and high for the last week or so. But hopefully, they're calling for another, I think, like 4 inches of precipitation in the next few days. So, I guess we can hope that's snow and it doesn't end up in the river immediately, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I did notice your 10-day forecast, in addition to the precipitation, it's cooling off a little bit too.
Yeah. So, like I said, the only thing we can really hope for in terms of flows is that, it'll stay cold enough to keep the snow from melting and ending up in the river right off the bat. But, water's still going to be cold, but I mean, it kind of always is this time of the year for the most part. It's been, depending on where you are in the river and what kind of tributaries you're fishing around, it's been bounced around between, it's seen everything as low as like 34 degrees and all the way up to, the mid to low 40s. So, yeah, kind of the opposite of what we do in the summertime trout fishing right now is keeping the thermometer handy and kind of trying to theorize, what the water temp's going to do on the different sections of the river from day to day. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens again with the snow and rain.
Yeah. So, assuming you don't get blown out, I don't know what, in about a week or so from a muskie perspective, the rivers are going to recover. But I imagine, the trout fishing is probably pretty good.
Yeah, trout fishing's been trucking along. We're out today, and it's super cold, drizzly, and windy, but we're catching a few fish. Actually, strangely enough, it doesn't really feel like it outside, but there's a decent amount of dry fly fishing that can be had this time of year on the South Fork primarily, which is our warmer river this time of year because it's got a lot of spring influence. And it will, the rivers, we've had so much water that the rivers all around are dropping pretty slowly from high water events, but they've been fishing pretty well, even since just a day or two after Christmas. They've come back into shape, gin clear. The fish are active, and like I said, the South Fork's got a lot of spring influence, so we're still looking at 45, 46 degree water temps, which is not bad considering it's been in the teens, 20s, and low 30s pretty regularly.
Yeah, and I always say the bonus for trout fishing in the wintertime is you don't have to get up very early in the morning.
You do not. No, it's pretty nice. And if you do end up fishing in the morning, what I always try to do with guide trips and what I suggest to other people is to sort of look at what the mountains are doing relative to the different sections of the river. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're gonna get up and fish it 8, 9, 10 in the morning to go way up in the mountains and fish a piece of water that doesn't get sunlight until 10 or 11 o'clock. So what I generally do is sort of fish lower in some of the systems because they generally have warmer water down there and see the sun a little earlier, and then go up higher in the mountains in the afternoon. And those lower sections too, that sort of flow through some of the more lowland valley type areas. There's a lot of springs down there, but there's springs everywhere. So just kind of keeping those two things in mind will help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, you're not thinking about smallmouth fishing now, but I know I saw an email from you within the last week telling people to get in line to come fish with you in the spring.
Oh, I'm definitely thinking about it. I'm thinking about it all the time, just about, especially when the river's high and you can't really do anything but trout fish. But yeah, I started booking, some April, May, June dates. I've always got people sniping midsummer topwater days, from the year before. So there's a few of those headed out the door already, but I'm focused on trying to book the spring period right now, as heavily as I can, which, honestly, with some of our best fishing, and most consistent fishing, this past year, we sort of started exploring a new program and it worked out pretty well for us. So I'm excited to show some people that kind of thing. And then, then summer will be here, after that. And it'll be this time of year again before we know it. So I'm hoping to make this next season, just as good or better than last year.
Yeah, there you go. And, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email them to us or send them to us on our Facebook or Instagram page. If we use your question, I'll send you some articulate fly swag, and you'll get entered into a drawing for something cool for Matt at the end of the season. And I think we talked before we started recording, and Matt's going to let us know what we're going to draw for on the next fishing report. And then on the fishing report after that, we'll have a winner for everybody. So there's one more chance to get a question in, folks. So you ought to send something in for Matt. And, Matt, it's 2021, but we got to keep the tradition alive. What are you writing for the Rural Virginian these days?
Yeah, man. So this week the column that went out was just a musky story from last year, I guess, last week, just after Christmas. Just a memorable day we had on the river, and kind of includes a little bit about the fishing pattern relative to conditions, sort of in late December through January and sometimes early February when it comes to musky fishing. So check that out. It'll be on my website. And I guess we'll stick it in the show notes too.
Yeah, I'll absolutely stick it in the show notes. And why don't you let folks know how they can track you down while you're waiting for the water to come down, thinking about smallmouth fishing, so they can book you and get on your guide calendar?
Sure thing. The website's MattReillyFlyFishing.com, and my email and social media links and phone number and all that's on there. So however you feel best reaching out, I look forward to hearing from you.
Absolutely. Well, listen, folks, I want to wish all of you a Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Matt.
Happy New Year, Marvin.